If you're watching this video, it probably means you're doing SEO on your website. Maybe you're doing it for somebody else and you want a clear process, a framework, a checklist to make sure that you're doing it properly and your website is showing up on search results. At this point, we've added millions of dollars worth of leads to our clients through SEO. And if you don't believe me, you can check out the rest of this channel for our case studies, our website, flexmarketing.ca. And the biggest problem I see that people run into when they're doing SEO, trying to rank their website higher and get more organic leads, is that they don't have a clear process in place to make sure that every single thing is optimized on their website when it comes to SEO. And if that sounds like you, then you're in the right place, because in this video, I'm going to give you the 10-step process that we use. This is not just general information that I'm giving to you or advice. This is our own standard operating procedure for what we do on our own clients' websites. So with that being said, make sure you're taking notes because we're going to get right into it. The first and most important item when you're optimizing your website for rankings is your keywords. Whatever keyword you're trying to rank for, whatever keyword you're making a page around, you want to make sure that you have that keyword defined. There's a lot of different tools like SEMrush, Ahrefs that you can use to research good, proper keywords. That's a little bit out of the scope of this video, but I did make another video on how to actually research highly searched and low competition keywords, which I'll link right here so you can check it out. Have a keyword in mind that you're trying to rank for. I know it sounds quite obvious, but a lot of people miss this. The second item is something that you might not think. It's the page layout. The layout of your page, the different sections that you want to have on a specific page, is so crucial to the user experience. Google doesn't just look at the content, the text on the page, the images, etc. They look at how long someone is spending on a page. And if they're going to other pages on their website, they're looking at what people are doing on your website. And so having a clearly defined layout of the page that you're trying to rank for will ensure that the content and the journey that someone takes on your website makes a lot of sense and they stay on your website for longer. Third item in the checklist is the page title. Making sure that the SEO title of your page is optimized is crucial for getting a higher click-through rate when you're showing up on searches. If your page title looks generic, it looks like everyone else's, then you're probably not going to get a lot of clicks. The page title, I like to equate it to an ad headline. So if you do run Google or Facebook ads, think about the headline. That's the first thing that someone's going to see when they're interacting with your website. Having a strong attention-grabbing page title will get that click rate up and have you ranking higher on searches. The fourth item is the page description. The page description is what people see underneath that page title. And in a lot of cases, people look at that page description to see if that page will contain the thing that they're looking for. So make sure that in that page description, you're filling it out and it has the keyword that you've already decided you're going to rank for in the text of the description. It doesn't need to be a super long essay, just a couple sentences describing what that page is about. The fifth item on the checklist is the page URL. The page URL is important because Google picks up on it and it'll rank you accordingly. The page URL is also important. It's a small part of SEO that some people might miss, but having your keyword in the URL of your page also makes sure that Google knows what that page is about. Getting into some of the on-page optimization now, the sixth item is the headings and subheadings of the page. You want to make sure that your H1, H2, H3 headings, etc. are all ordered correctly on the page because Google will read your page from top to bottom. And so having that H1 tag, the main heading, include your keyword in some sort of way will make sure that Google picks up on it first. Now, a big caveat here, and this goes with the text of your website as well, which we'll get into, but you don't want to bombard your page with keywords. A lot of the time on our clients' websites, we'll have the keyword in the H1 of the website page, but sometimes we don't. And sometimes that page ranks really well. You want to make sure you prioritize first as the main thing people see on your website, that H1 heading, is that it grabs their attention, just like the page title. If someone's attention is grabbed in that first few seconds of being on a website, they're more likely to stay. And like I mentioned earlier, spend more time on your website, which Google picks up on. So where you can, put the keywords in the H1, H2, and H3 headings of that page. And of course, order them correctly on the page. The seventh item on our checklist is the paragraph text. Like I mentioned previously, you don't want to bombard your paragraphs on the website with your keywords to a point that it's clear you're trying to rank this website for SEO and the information doesn't really make sense because you're just putting in keywords anywhere you can. You want to make sure that you put that keyword in tastefully to the paragraph text so that, like I mentioned earlier, people have a good experience on your website. A good rule of thumb that I use is put yourself into the shoes of your customers or someone that's going to be on your website. If the paragraph text makes sense and it's cohesive and it forms a good idea of what you're trying to get across, then you're good. Next up is going to be the images. A lot of people don't know this, but Google actually picks up on the image alt text and the file names. The alt text of an image is simply a descriptor of what that image is. Sometimes people who are visually impaired use a reader to read off information about a website page, and it reads off information about that image. And so filling out that image description, the alt text of the image, and having your keywords in that alt text, Google will absolutely pick up on it, as well as having the keyword in the file name of your images. Typically, the file name of the image doesn't really matter that much in terms of making it super descriptive. You could simply just name the image file what your keyword is. These last two items are super important and is what 99% of people miss when it comes to optimizing their website for Google. The ninth item is internal links. Building an internal linking structure within your website will make sure that Google picks up on that page a lot more quickly than if you weren't to have internal links. So what do I mean by this? Well, if you're adding a landing page, typically what we do is if this is an SEO landing page that wouldn't really fit into the navigation or the footer of the website, we'll put links on different pages back to that page that we just made. And on the page that we're making or have just made, we'll put links to our homepage or other landing pages on the website so that pages are linking back and forth to each other. Again, this is going to ensure that Google picks up on that website page, the new page that you just made, a lot faster. And if this is a landing page that you're going to put in the footer the navigation and the footer of your website, then make sure you put it in the navigation and footer of your website so that it's clearly linked on your website. And if you do have backlinks or have the ability to put backlinks on the website, do that as well. The final item is uploading the new page that you have to Google Search Console. Again, this is something that I see missed most of the time. What you want to do is upload that new page or your sitemap to Google Search Console so that Google picks up on it, it can read your website, and it will rank it. If you don't do this, if you miss this step, Google will not rank your website. We just took on a client, actually, funny enough, that had like hundreds and hundreds of blogs put out, but they didn't upload it to Google Search Console, and none of the pages are being read or ranked on Google. Think about that for a second. And so if you start off on the right foot by doing this, uploading your sitemap to Google Search Console, and every time you upload or make a new page, upload that to the Search Console so that Google will pick up on it and read it. So that's gonna do it for this video, guys. You now have our 10-step checklist that we use for each of our clients that you can use for yourself. Now it's gonna make the process of doing SEO on your website a lot more straightforward. You now have a process, a framework that you can implement every single time you're working on your website. Hope this helps. And if you got any value from it, make sure you like the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.